Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi folks, and welcome to our new format for our Ask an Attorney series. As you can already see, I am sure that the format is a bit different now. I'll be meeting with my good friend John Arens, who works in financial planning and is also heavily involved in philanthropy in the city of Long Beach and surrounding areas. We're both involved in the Salvation Army board for the city of Long Beach, where John serves as president. So yeah, John, you want to kick us off then?
Absolutely. Well, Alexander, thank you for having me. I appreciate that. Once again, John Arens. I'm brand new to the Lex Rex Institute. However, we are starting a new segment called Ask an Attorney. So I had a question. It's a two-parter. I'll go very quick because we want to value your time. Now, let me ask you a question. I said 2 parts. This is as an attorney and then as a guy like me.
Okay.
I am a non-attorney, and that's what I mean by a guy like me. So if you had one place or important places that you need to visit as an American. You aren't American. I have to go here. I need to see it. Necessary.
Okay.
Where would you go? Lawyer and then non-lawyer.
Lawyer and non-lawyer
Yep.
answer. Okay. Well, before I answer that, I'm just going to correct you very briefly. We actually
please.
already had an Ask an Attorney series, which turned out to be kind of boring. It was just me talking to the camera.
Oh, that's because I wasn't here
So John's
yet.
here to make things more interesting, and it's Ask an Attorney.
Not heavy at all, folks.
You know, we got to get somebody asking a question if it's Ask an Attorney. So that's why we have you.
I think that's why I'm here.
Yeah, for a conversation. So that's what we're doing now. To answer your question, gee, as a lawyer and as a non-lawyer, I'm going to say the first thing that comes to mind for a lawyer, and it's sort of the story that's the reason why I'm an attorney today. When my dad appeared before the U.S. Supreme Court for the first time, I was 13 years old. It was January, really cold, coldest my California blood had ever seen. But
Dad fought Supreme Court. Just real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks,
Just
John.
small thing. Yeah. Go ahead.
So yeah, it's first time I'd ever been to Washington, D.C., and I was a huge history buff at the time. And as any 13-year-old kid, I kind of like the violent parts of history. So particularly ancient Rome. Yeah, I think Gladiator had just come out. I love some of the old movies like that. It's not a great film, but Rise of the, or Fall of the Roman Empire, the one with Alec Guinness playing Marcus Aurelius. But anyway, that was you know, I love the violent stuff. The gladiatorial games and all that. And that's, you know, Washington, D.C., very obviously designed in sort of a Roman style.
Roman architecture.
Yeah, the federal buildings. It was sort of Thomas Jefferson's vision. We don't want to copy England.
Sure.
We want to copy Rome because they had a Senate and they had a republic that obviously, of course, eventually collapsed into empire.
Sure.
Which tends to be the all too common fate of republics. So I'm looking at that, I'm sort of thinking about it. Huge buildings, you know, grand stone marble buildings designed to take your breath away, and they did when I was a 13-year-old kid. So, you know, last day of the trip, I think it was last day of the trip, finally we go to the National Archives building, which is another huge marble building. We walk into the rotunda, and that's where they store kind of the most important documents there. And we see the case right in the middle, which has 4 sheets of paper in it, 4 very large sheets of paper, but 4 sheets of paper. We walk up to that, it's the Constitution of the United States. My dad points at that and he says, "Son, that's our country." And that struck me, because those huge buildings aren't our country. And the reason we're different from Rome, the reason that we're not a violent people, we don't have gladiatorial games, we don't wage wars against our own people, you know, we don't hang people from crosses, we don't do the rest of that kind of stuff, it's not because we've just become so much more enlightened over the centuries. It's because our law is different. It's because of those 4 sheets of paper. So those 4 sheets of paper are, on the one hand, of course, obviously way more powerful than the marble buildings because they produced the marble buildings.
Right.
But on the other hand, they're 4 pieces of paper. They can't even hold themselves together anymore. They got to be in climate-controlled cases just to exist. So, you know, that really struck me. These pieces of paper are not going to defend themselves. It takes you and me to defend them. And that's the reason the Lex Rex Institute exists today.
That's why we're here.
Yeah,
that's why you're here.
To defend the Constitution of the United States.
Right.
Because it's not going to defend itself. It's just pieces of paper. Pieces of paper can't defend themselves. So that's my lawyer answer. It might not be the best answer, but that's the first thing that comes to mind.
So National Archives.
National Archives. See the Constitution.
Go.
I make sure I do it every time I go to D.C.
But even as a non-lawyer, I would imagine that would be something heavy.
Yeah,
something
especially because
spectacular.
You know, this is the Constitution. We got a copy of it right here. So you can see.
Thank you for the segue
it's
there.
Not that long. It's it's a pretty thin book.
And
It's not written for lawyers.
Thank you for
This is
saying
what
that.
books for lawyers look like. They look like entire shelves full of books. This is written for we the people, as the first 3 words of the Constitution will attest.
So plain,
So read
simple
it.
American
Plain, yeah.
English.
I mean, it's a little bit, people will tell you it's a little bit antiquated, but honestly, it's not that bad. Like you can read it, take you an afternoon if you're a very slow reader. Yeah, read the Constitution. My answer as a non-lawyer.
Oh, real quick, where can our people get
Oh,
a
thank you,
copy
John.
of that?
Thank you. Yeah, so lexrex.org/store. You can make a donation, I believe, of $20 or more, and you can get a free copy of the Constitution and Declaration of Independence. I highly if you haven't read it before, really, just give it a read. You'll be surprised. I think you'll be surprised at how easy of a read it is. It's written for we the people. It's not written for lawyers.
It's enlightening. It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and you know, non-lawyer answer, I'm a California boy. My roots are here. That's a pun that I did not intend, but I gotta answer. It's got the giant sequoia trees at Sequoia National Park, Kings Canyon National Park.
Oh,
They are the largest organisms that I believe have ever lived. Currently the largest living one is the General Sherman tree. I'm not sure why they named it that, but that's named after General Sherman. Kind of makes the fires that went by it ironic a couple of years ago, but that is something that I would definitely recommend seeing. Pictures can't do them justice. They're really staggering.
I'm a California boy too. I mean, don't we have a state in the United States that claims that everything's bigger there?
Yeah, I think that they're wrong about that. I think it's California. Because actually we have both the largest species of tree, that's the sequoia,
Right.
and the tallest species of tree, it's the coastal redwood. Sometimes people get those confused. Actually, totally different species.
Oh yeah.
One of them's got really hard wood that made them cut a bunch of them down to use them for building stuff, but which they should not have done. But then the sequoias are a softwood, so different species.
Largest living organism
Yeah,
on the planet.
it's in California.
California, folks.
Both.
We're pretty
Top
big
2.
over here. And we are not. Anyway, so as you can see,
Some people claim some fungus is bigger, but I don't. You're never going to see that. That's just it's showing genetic similarity across different states and stuff. I don't count that. I'm not a scientist, so don't take my advice on that. But I don't count that.
Nor am I. Mostly finance, but I will say that as far as growing, or as far as making sure to spread across this country, we are trying to spread as representatives of Lex Rex. How we can fight for your constitutional rights.
Yes.
Fight for your constitutional
Just like
rights.
that fungus. That's right.
We will spread the Constitution to the people of America.
Yeah,
and that's why we're here.
There's been a huge deficit of constitutional education in this country over the past, really 80 years at this point. Schools haven't done it. If you've gone to school in the past 80 years in the U.S., you have not learned the Constitution. So we want to make sure that people are empowered both to know what their constitutional rights are, and that's not worth a whole lot if they can't also back them up in court. So we're there for the whole package. And John, we're really happy to have you on board with us. So
My pleasure to be here.
thanks for doing this today. You'll be seeing a lot more of John in the future, and we're getting sun now, so sorry about that, guys. We may have lights on these in the future. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you all again next week. Thank you so much.
Alexander, thank you. Appreciate you.